Hey everyone, I hope everyone is doing great. It's a wonderful Saturday. So, this topic on AB's World is about standing up for what you believe in. I hope everyone has been enjoying my podcast. I hope that I can make a good impact in your life for the positive. As I say, positivity will always help you see the new light and the reflection in you. We just have to learn how to move on from certain situations that may seem extremely difficult, but that's not what the topic is about. I hope everyone is enjoying the weather. It's amazing. So we have to really stand up for what you believe in. Even if you're going to get judged and people are going to look at you like you're crazy, I always stand up for what I believe in. I don't know if you guys are following me on my social media page on AB's World 718. That's just my professional page. I'm talking about when you see something and you see that it's not right and you know for a fact that it's not right and everyone else says that they're right, you should always stand up to what you believe in. Stay true to yourself. You don't have to prove anything to anybody. What you have to do is prove something to yourself. You don't always have to prove anyone right or wrong. As long as you know that you did the right thing, always stand on your morals. Never leave your principles and your values for anybody else. You know, when you're dating or you're looking for a job and it doesn't suit you, that's okay to leave it. It's okay to leave. Stand up for what you believe in all the time. For an example, I'm not a political person at all, even though a lot of people say that I am. I'm a very opinionated person. I always have an opinion about things. I like to open up my eyes and view the world completely different than most people. So this presidential debate, I'm not voting for anybody. I do not vote. Just because I like a candidate's views and I like some of his policies, that don't mean I'm going to vote for that person. I don't vote for anybody. Nobody's putting money in my pocket. I'm not voting for you. You know what I mean? So I really want everyone to stay true to themselves. I want everyone to stand up firm for what they believe in, even if everyone else thinks that it's wrong. For an example, if you're part of a religious group and you think that what they're doing is incorrect and you believe that what you're doing is correct, keep doing what you're doing. Nobody has to know. Learn how to keep things private. It can be difficult for you to keep things private when you have so much to share, when you have so much to offer, and you have so much to give. What makes my podcast authentic is that nothing is off the table. I like it when people are open about certain things. You know, if you have an issue with a certain topic that I'm talking about, or I stay off topic, or you don't understand something, or I'm talking too fast, because this is new for me. I'm not all that with using my words and articulating myself 100% clearly. Sometimes it's difficult for me to choose the right words for the right sentence that I'm trying to elaborate. It could be difficult for me. So I want everyone to have their input in my discussions. That's what makes my podcast unique and authentic, is that I get to have people, message me on Instagram through friends how it could be better. What makes AB's World authentic? It is authentic. As I said before, nothing is off the table. Nothing. If anyone has anything to say, I want people to say it. I want this podcast one day to be successful. I want people from all over the world to listen in and tune in to different exciting things about my life and New York and overall, the culture. There's always room to improve when it comes to podcasts. Get to know your audience. Have a warm conversation. Shake hands. Smile. Even if you're having the shittiest day in the fucking world, it don't fucking matter. You have to smile. You gotta go out the door with a smile. Just because you're having a bad day, you're not having a bad year, you're not having a bad life, you're not having a bad month. Shit happens. And that's why I say I stay true to myself. And I always go with my gut. And that's always standing true to yourself. Die for what you believe in. If you believe that, Kendrick Lamar is the best rapper in this century, like currently, I stand by K-Dot. If you think that, Drake is the best rapper, stand by him. Everyone's going to have a different opinion. It's all about perspective at the end of the day. I think right now, and it's a fact, that K-Dot is actually one of the most lyrical rappers right now. I think that his rap is more of it's a rhythm, it's an art. You really have to understand his music. It's like a storytelling. Drake is more of an entertainer. And it's crazy because I said it in my last podcast that I'm a fan of both. I think they're both great musicians. But for me, K-Dot is not a musician. He's a rapper. He's an artist. He stays true to his art, to his true culture. And that's what makes me respect him. Stay true to yourself and always believe that when you see something, say it. Say what you believe in by visioning it. You don't have to say it to the world, but go look in the mirror every single day and see the change that's going to come so you could keep moving forward. I know it's a lot easier said than done because we're all going through some weird changes. And that's really what the message is. The message is all about standing up for what is right 100% of the time. Because there's so many different controversial topics right now that is happening on social media and, just in general. Like I see it within my own family. There's a lot of controversial and dirty kitchen table talk, which is absolutely always an uncomfortable discussion to have. And I always voice my opinion. Believe me, guys, if I have to curse out that crazy aunt or that uncle that's acting in a very weird way, I'm going to tell it to them. I have no problem lashing out on people that need to be lashed out on. Obviously, maybe that's a little bit of an extreme word. But some people really need to hear the truth, right? If you believe that this person is wrong and you really see something that they're doing is wrong, be that good person and tell them, correct them. Because sometimes people be doing shit that they don't even know that they're doing it. And then they end up, not correcting it. That's why it's always good to have good people around you that's going to hold you accountable. I know for me, I fuck up every single day. I'm impulsive. I'm working on changing my voice in my podcast so I can be more confident. One day, maybe I could speak in front of 50, 60, 70,000 people. I know I'm able to do that because I'm a people's person. I'm warm. I like everybody. There's really few people that I dislike in this world. Obviously, hate is a strong word. I don't really hate anybody. There's no reason for it. I just see things super different than most people. I don't see the city the way most people see the city. It could be very convenient and it could be very chaotic. It could be very intimidating for people that have never been to New York City before. But that's what makes it unique. You always have to find the positivity and where you are and just stay there. Because every place that you're going to go to is going to have a traumatic past. All this past traumas is from our ancestors because they also went through some fucked up shit. And I think that's really what the most difficult part of becoming a man is, to learning how to cope with these crazy traumatic experience. We weren't really taught from a young age how to adapt and go out in the real world and learn about certain things that may seem easy and logical to some, but to you it's challenging and difficult. And that's what makes you unique, is when you face the challenges and you keep doing it every single day, and it becomes repetitive and it doesn't become a chore anymore. It just becomes a routine. And I think that's really what it all is at the end of the day, is to see it. Seeing is believing. If you see something that's not right on the subway, or there's a movement going on, I always have an input on it. I always go to these crowds that reflect my beliefs. I always try to hang around people that have my values, even though they don't necessarily understand my point of view. That's because they're not from my community. They don't understand my traumas from my community. So they're going to look at things from a completely different perspective, and that's okay. That's what it is when you become friends with other people. You're not always going to see things the way you want them to see things. And I think that's really the special part about the human connection, is that we can still do amazing things together, even if we don't necessarily agree and see eye to eye on many different topics, like books and certain discussions, whether it's cooking or economics or traveling. I hear a lot of times people say they won't visit, this country for this reason, and I think it's crazy. I don't think there's any country in the world that I would not go visit. Every country has its uniqueness. Every place has its purpose. And I think that once you go traveling the world more and you open up your eyes and you explore your horizons and you expand your horizons, then people are not really going to be sheltered anymore. They're not going to be afraid to face their fears when they're opening their eyes and saying, oh, this is not so intimidating or scary per se. That's why I'm saying certain exams, right? You want to get this license, it's always going to be intimidating, but you got to keep taking the exam even if you fail, because you're going to have to take the exam, within the next 2 years. Might as well just get used to it and understand what the questions are asking. At the end of the day, people learn and develop differently, and they develop at different paths. So I just want everyone to understand that you're not behind. You are where you are. You are where you're supposed to be. And I think that if you really want to move forward, you just got to open up your eyes, go to the mirror, and make friends with the mirror. And go look at yourself every day and see how you can improve. And always see the reflection, and always see that there's room for improvement. Once you see that there's no more room for improvement, that's when you fail. Because sometimes I say, oh, I'm perfect in this and this, and there's no such thing as perfection. A lot of people say there is, but in my world, there's no such thing. You cannot really perfect 100% yourself. You have to keep growing and evolving. I know people say that, you could perfect something. I don't really believe that. I believe that you can definitely work towards perfection, but you can't actually perfect something. There's no such thing as a perfect recipe. No matter how many times you try, and no matter how many times you make the recipe, it's not always going to be perfect. There's always going to be some missing flavor ingredient, or an ounce or you put a little too little water, too much water. And that's what makes it authentic, is that it doesn't have too much or too little. If that makes any sense. That's really what this topic is about, is reaching to your higher self, and obviously, as I say, stand up for what you believe in. You know, I follow so many wonderful pages on Instagram, and a lot of them do stand up for what they believe in. And a lot of people think that these pages may seem a little bit corny, per se. I know at one point maybe I thought, a few pages were a little bit too out there. But there's no such thing as too out there when you really, really want to try to achieve something, and you want so many people to see your vision and how you're going to try to improve the world. So I just spoke about 3 different topics in 16 minutes. So that's basically 4 minutes per topic. I spoke about standing up for what you believe in. I spoke about reflection. I also spoke about that you are not where you are where you're supposed to be, which is that there's room to improve. And I also spoke about there is always room for perfection, which is growth. There's no such thing as perfection. And I think that when you break things down into a story, people are going to understand the story when you break things down into certain parts. And that's what makes it exciting, and that's what makes viewers want to come back. I leave them curious to wanting to listen to me by wanting more and hearing what I have to say, if that makes any sense. I hope that everyone has an amazing last week of May. As you guys know, this is one of my favorite times of the years. I absolutely love Gemini season. Most of my peoples are Geminis, and they're absolutely bold and critical thinkers, and some of them can be more logical than me. I'm an Aquarius, as I say. I think sometimes it could be hard to be a critical thinker when you see things completely different, and you want people to view you as a logical person, and you want people to view you as, somebody that will take you seriously. It can be difficult when you don't see things the way they see things. That's why everything is about perspective at the end of the day. So I'm going to leave it off as this. Do you continue doing what you're doing, and always have faith and the courage to speak up. You gotta leave your fears behind. You gotta open up. If you have a traumatic experience about anything, open up about it. We should start a group with young men that are between 20 and 30 years old that are facing some fucked up shit. We need to talk about financial literacy. We need to talk about healing. We need to talk about the spiritual process. We need to talk about music. We need to talk about culture. Obviously, good music that everyone likes. We could talk about hip-hop, some good rap, some good rock and roll, some good pop music. I'm sick and tired of people identifying this person as a certain way because they like this music or they wear this clothing. That has to stop. Everyone has their own style. Everyone has their own unique talent. Everyone has their own creativity. Groups are important. Nobody wants to be alone healing through a fucked up situation. To others, it may not seem fucked up because people don't really know the struggles that you're facing, only what you tell them. That's why you got to be careful what you tell everybody. That's why it's important to journal, which I would, sometimes it's hard for me to practice what I preach. Sometimes it's hard for me to write. Because with my thought process, when I do these podcasts, I think about what I'm saying in the moment. I'm in the moment. I left the past behind. I'm healing from the past. Right? There are times where you wake up, I'm sure, and you say, oh, I fucked up so bad. I didn't realize how bad I fucked up. Instead of living with regret, live in a way where you could just take all of that and learn from it. Some people, when they wake up, they lose hope. And they're just living to live. Forget about this whole motivational and purpose. You need to learn, you need to know why you fucked up. Like if somebody asks me, why did I fuck up? I'll tell them why I fucked up. I fucked up because I got too comfortable. I got too set in my ways. I got hyper. I was hanging around the wrong people. I didn't have balance. I was awful with my money, which I still am. I'm trying to find something that works. I never found a healthy solution that works for me, and that's why I have all these anxieties and these thoughts, and I speak my mind. I speak my mind because I'm blunt, but I'm not going to speak my mind unless I'm spoken to, unless there's a crazy conversation that doesn't make any sense. I'm going to put my 2 cents where it doesn't belong. So this is all part of the spiritual healing process. It's all about understanding yourself. And for me, I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. I'm learning every single day at 29 years old. I see, many 29-year-olds, and we're all very different. Failure is all about perception. People could think that I'm a failure, and maybe I am a failure in certain ways, but in certain ways I have a lot of strengths, right? A lot of people can make fun of me about these podcasts and say, oh, this guy's not serious, about certain topics, or I can't relate to him. At the end of the day, I don't give a fuck. I stay true to myself. If you don't want to hear it, you don't have to. You don't have to hear my podcast. The point is, I'm doing it for me. This is AB's world. I want people that are in my world to relate so we could all come together and we could all heal together and we could all travel the world together and we could all make money together and we could all cure sicknesses together. I'm sick and tired of my homies texting me, telling me how badly they want to be financially free. We all want to be financially free. We all have to be in it together. I'm sick and tired of everyone telling me how lucky I am. Nobody's lucky. We're blessed. There's no such thing as luck. It's blessed. You have to really start believing in yourself to the point where that people are going to view you as crazy. And a lot of people do think that I'm crazy. And I have everything that I need, but I don't have everything that I want. Those are the 2 different things. I want more money. I want to find a nice girl. If anyone knows of a nice girl, let me know. No, I'm just kidding. That's the Jewish way of dating. I know that's not really how it works in the modern day world. We should have discussions about dating and women and how we can, help women heal from their past. Because women have feelings just like men. And that men have to take accountability. And also, as a man, if you want a woman to respect you, you're going to have to hold it down. I don't care. I don't really care what anyone else has to say. A man has to provide, and that's final. Financially, emotionally, and everything. And part of that is being strong and not letting your guard down. You got to hold yourself accountable. And that's all about awareness self-control, and discipline. "25 minutes in, and we spoke about many different topics. It's a storytelling. That's what it is. I hope one day we can all come together, right? The people that are listening to me, the people that I know, the people that I don't know, the youth. We could get rid of the sicknesses and we come together and we do our own thing and we take over the world. The youth is the most powerful thing in this entire world. There is nothing more powerful than the youth. They're young, energetic, and spiritual human beings. They will whip you up and destroy you. The old people have to step down. In politics, in music, the OGs in music will always be better than the youngsters. That's just how it is. It is what it is. But the youngsters have the energy to become better, but they're not for whatever reason. That could be because maybe they're hanging around the wrong crowd. I don't know. But we have to come together, have groups. We need to become financially free. We have to stop relying on our parents to support us. You know, our parents did everything since birth. Even before that, they were literally carrying us in our womb. We can't expect them to give everything to us, right? And I think that's what it is when you become so comfortable and you set into your own ways. You started taking advantage of people that want to help us, and then they get farther away because we take advantage. This is all about understanding what it is to be a man. It's really difficult. It's really hard. You know, I live in New York City, and I'm not really going to get into my whole entire situation unless people ask me. Then I will. But I definitely receive some assistance due to me having my ADHD, and I have a learning disability, and I also have some sort of language receptive barriers. And when I found out about this program that I'm in, I abused the program to my advantage. And I think that's what makes it so amazing, is that I don't really let it define me. Even though sometimes I know I'm capable of doing more. It's just that I'm mentally exhausted from thinking about what I'm going to do next. I don't know how to relax. And I don't want people to think that, I'm lazy and I'm sleeping. I don't sleep. Okay? I've been up since 4:30 this morning, and I just saw a New York State tax bill that I was not 100% aware of. So I gotta pay my dues too. And I'm really excited that, I get to pay taxes and be a national in my country, right? Not a citizen, a national. We all have to contribute to make society work. Everybody has to pitch in. There is no handouts from parents. There's no handouts from your homies. Of course, you could borrow $20, $30 from there. If my boys ever need a few bucks, I always lend it to them. They know that. And they always lend it to me. We are all homies at the end of the day. We are family. Blood is thicker than water. I want everyone to stay true to themselves. Everyone has to build their own brand. But we have to build the brand together. It's like the ABCs, like Jackson 5. ABC, 1, 2, 3. It's a rhythm. It's a brand. Maybe next time in AB's World, I'll be talking about marketing and different business ideas and how maybe I could make a more interesting and more authentic podcast that people are not doing. Maybe about cooking. The thing is, I just really wanted to talk about mental health. And that's because I see so many people that are not well. It's just New York. It's not one person. It's New York. It's the environment. People are not mentally sane. They're not. Sometimes I don't think I'm mentally sane, even though I am. Like, thank God I never, had any hospitalizations or anything. But I'm very hyper and I'm wild. And I think that's what makes me unique. I like to be hyper and wild because that's the energy that I have. So I think that having ADHD could be an advantage. What is the advantage? You have energy like a little kid. You're not necessarily like a little kid, but you have energy like a little kid. I'm sick and tired of seeing 29-year-olds, 30-year-olds, 26-year-olds, not ambitious about their goals. You have to be ambitious about your goals. You have to be obsessed. You have to. I procrastinate all the time. I was procrastinating about this particular podcast that I made today. I didn't know exactly how I wanted it to plan out, so I just started talking. That's really what, the first 10 episodes is about talking. Get comfortable talking. Get comfortable in front of the camera. Get comfortable going on lives. Get comfortable getting out there. Get comfortable going on stage and getting booed and getting shit thrown in your face. I don't give a fuck. Do it. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. Over and over and over and over. It's like driving a car. Over and over and over again until you're going to be that good of a motivational speaker where you can impact as many youth as possible within your age group, and you could build something greater than you ever expected before. I hope that everyone has an amazing Memorial Weekend. Thank you to all who served this great country. We know how this country was founded. It was not that great. I'm just saying something positive, and bye for now.